Right when a tomato is almost ready, the skin coloring up, sitting heavy on the vine, the bottom goes soft and black. The fruit is gone before it ever left the garden. That's blossom end rot. And if you've grown tomatoes for more than one season, there's a decent chance you've been there. Most people blame the watering. I did too, the first time it happened to me. Adjusted the schedule, added more, added less, tried again the following year. Same result. What nobody told me, and what took an embarrassingly long time to figure out, is that the decision-causing blossom end rot happens 6 weeks before you ever see it. It happens in the planting hole, on the day the plant goes into the ground. This video is about 3 ingredients that go into that hole in May before any tomato plant touches the soil. All 3 cost under $5 at Walmart. None of them are what the garden center is pushing. The difference shows up in the first 7 days, not in the fruit yet, but in the root system, which is exactly where every tomato gets decided. There's also one thing most gardeners put in that hole that quietly works against everything else. That part matters just as much as the 3 ingredients. Stay with this. A hobby garden and a productive backyard look almost identical in May. By August, they don't. And the gap usually comes down to what happened in the planting hole on day 1. So let's start with what most people get wrong there. The most common thing people add to the planting hole is a general tomato fertilizer. It's at every garden center in May, it's reasonably priced, and the logic makes sense on the surface. It's made for tomatoes, so it must be what tomatoes need. The problem is what most of those products lead with: nitrogen. Nitrogen in May tells the plant one thing: grow above ground, build leaves, build structure, push vertical. Which sounds productive, except that a plant spending all its energy on stems and foliage in May is a plant that hasn't built the root system it needs to set and hold fruit in July. The result is familiar: beautiful green plant through June. Everything looks like it's working. Then August arrives, the heat builds, and production drops off. Tomatoes stay small or split or don't come in at all, and the instinct is to buy more fertilizer next season. The bag gets blamed for not being enough when the actual issue is what the bag was doing to begin with. Nitrogen has its place in the season. That place is not in the planting hole in May. What belongs in that hole is built for roots, calcium, and magnesium. Which brings up the second thing people reach for, and this one is harder to argue against because it sounds like the right answer. Eggshells for calcium. This one shows up everywhere, and the logic is clean. Tomatoes need calcium, eggshells are calcium, put eggshells in the hole. The issue is timing. Eggshells take 12 to 18 months to break down in soil. Your plant needs calcium this season. By the time those shells decompose enough to release anything useful, the harvest is done and the garden is already going to sleep for winter. This is a solid move for a compost pile in October. In the planting hole in May, the calcium never arrives when it matters. And calcium matters more than most people realize, because that black soft spot at the bottom of the tomato, blossom end rot, that's a calcium deficiency, not a watering problem. The calcium simply wasn't there when the plant needed it, and by the time the symptom shows up on the fruit, the window closed weeks ago. This is where a lot of good gardens still come up short. Not because the grower didn't care or didn't try, because the fix has to be in the hole from day 1, in a form the plant can actually use within the season. There's a third mistake that happens after planting, and this one costs people the results of everything they already did right. That one comes right after the 3 ingredients because the order matters. 3 ingredients, under $5 total, available at any Walmart or pharmacy, and none of them come from the garden section. The first is bone meal, and this is the one most backyard growers have never tried. Bone meal is high in phosphorus and calcium. The phosphorus is what drives root development in those first critical weeks after planting. Without a strong root system in May, the plant has no engine. It can't pull in water or nutrients no matter how rich the soil is. 2 tablespoons go at the bottom of the hole, not mixed into the surrounding soil. Roots reach down first, and you want them to find it immediately. 1 bag runs about $8 and covers an entire planting season. The second is Epsom salt, which most households already have sitting in a cabinet somewhere. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate, and magnesium is what runs photosynthesis at the cellular level. When a tomato plant runs low on it, the leaves start yellowing between the veins while the veins themselves stay green. Most people blame overwatering or disease. The real culprit is almost always magnesium, and it's one of the cheapest fixes in the garden. 1 tablespoon in the whole alongside the bone meal. A bag costs about $1.50 at any pharmacy. The third one surprises people every time. Tums, the antacid from the pharmacy aisle. Crush 2 tablets and drop them in the hole with everything else. Tums are almost entirely calcium carbonate, in a form that breaks down in weeks rather than 18 months. This is exactly what eggshells are trying to do, just in a form that actually delivers within a single growing season. A pack runs about $3 and covers an entire garden bed. All 3 are safe for food plants. Bone meal is organic. Epsom salt is a naturally occurring mineral. Tums is a human supplement. No synthetic chemistry, nothing that requires careful handling. The total sits right around $5, and the whole setup takes about 3 minutes per plant. That's the foundation. Now the third mistake, the one that quietly undoes everything. After planting, the instinct is to water heavily and keep the soil consistently moist. The plant just went through the stress of transplanting. Water feels like care. What's happening underground works against that logic. Roots need oxygen just as much as they need moisture. Waterlogged soil pushes oxygen out of the root zone, and when oxygen is gone, the roots can't absorb nutrients. Everything in that hole, the bone meal, the Epsom salt, the calcium, sits there inaccessible. The plant is sitting on top of exactly what it needs and can't reach any of it. There's a simple check. Push 2 fingers about 2 inches into the soil and hold for 5 seconds. If it still feels moist, the plant doesn't need water yet. A tomato wilting on a warm May afternoon isn't always a thirsty plant. It's often a plant managing transplant stress, temporarily conserving energy. Check again in the morning. If it's recovered, leave it alone. The roots are doing the work. The sequence runs the same way every time a tomato plant goes in the ground. Check soil temperature first. 2 fingers, 2 inches down, 5 seconds. If it feels uncomfortably cold, wait. Tomato roots don't absorb nutrients from cold soil, and a plant dropped into cold ground in a hurry will be overtaken in 3 weeks by a plant put in 2 weeks later into warm soil. Patience in cold climates isn't passive, it's strategic. Soak the hole before anything goes in. Water is what carries nutrients to where roots can reach them. Dry soil next to concentrated minerals creates burn points on young root tips before the plant even gets started. Fill the hole, let it drain, then add the ingredients. Add in order 2 tablespoons of bone meal at the bottom, 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt, 2 tums crushed between your fingers, no mixing required. Plant normally, backfill the soil, press gently around the base, and water once, not heavily, just enough to settle everything in. Mulch around the base with 2 to 3 inches of straw or wood chips. Leave a 2-inch ring of bare soil between the mulch and the stem. That gap keeps moisture away from the base of the plant and prevents the conditions that invite fungal rot during May's temperature swings. It looks minor. It makes a real difference in whether the plant holds through August. This is the part I used to skip. Not because I didn't know better, but because after all the steps, the gap just looked like I hadn't finished. Took 1 bad season in June to change that habit, then leave it alone for 10 to 14 days. No additional fertilizer, no extra watering unless the top 2 inches are completely dry. The signal that roots are established is new leaf growth at the top of the plant, a fresh set of leaves pushing out. Until that moment, everything is already in motion down in the hole. The first week after planting, the plant may look slightly droopy. That's transplant stress resolving. Leave it. By day 7 or 8, the stem firms up and the leaves start orienting toward the sun more directly instead of hanging loose. Somewhere around day 12, new growth appears at the top. That's when the root system has found what it needed and the plant is ready to move forward. By mid-July, a plant set up correctly in May isn't waiting on tomatoes, it's producing them. And a backyard that produces reliably through the summer is one less thing a family has to depend on the store for, which is the whole point of building this the right way from the beginning. Tell me in the comments, what zone are you in, and are you growing tomatoes this season for fresh eating, or are you putting them up for storage? I read every single one of those, and the next few videos are going to be built around what you're actually dealing with in your specific situation, not what I assume you need. Some people want to put all of this into a more organized system. There's a guide called the Backyard Miracle Farm System that walks through building a productive backyard step by step. If you want to see how it works, the link is in the pinned comment. If this was useful, subscribe. Every week through the growing season, one topic, one practical move, one thing that makes a real difference in how much food your backyard actually produces. The planting hole closes the moment the soil goes back over it. What you put in on day one is what the plant works with for the entire season, and that window only opens once.